Hello, hello, hello. This is giannawoods, and we are live with SpaCast. And as you can hear, I'm outside in my backyard, and you can hear the lovely planes flying over in the background. The joys of live TV. And this week we have our special guest and co-host back, Chloe. Hey, Chloe. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. How about yourself?
Doing okay. I'm fighting mosquitoes this week. So if I get carried away, then you'll know that the mosquitoes are big here in Texas. So let's see. What are we going to be talking about this week? Let's see. What were some of the top questions? Of course, it's always about our big boobs and how do they affect our work? How do they affect our everyday lifestyle? Got a big bite of this. Trying to see. I don't see anybody in the chat room yet. That's too small for me to read. I can't read that from here. Got a monitor over off to the side and cannot begin to read what any of that says. So yeah. So, did you get any good questions from your fans, Chloe, that we need to talk about this week?
It's going to be a surprise.
All right. Let's see. What was the first one? That was up. Whoops. All right. Still not big enough for anything. Nothing coming in yet. Okay, let's see. Looks like one of the top questions that came in this week. How do the girls affect us in public? I guess I can go first. Probably just feel like, general stuff if I'm out and about and grocery shopping. I go to reach for something on the shelf. I tend to lean in too far and I'll be like knocking stuff over. I've gone into some clothing stores, and they'll have all of the racks of clothes so close together that I can't even begin to walk through, and I'll be, knocking stuff over, and all the it's usually females that work there in the stores will be coming behind me picking up all the stuff. It's like I leave a little trail when I walk through the store. I'm like, oh, this is pretty horrible. But how does it ever affect you when you try to drive, when you're driving, trying to reach the steering wheel, and has that ever affected you, Chloe?
It actually has, and for me, what's interesting with it too is that because of my shorter height, I have to scoot the seat up really like as close as it can go. And
oh, so, my goodness.
I'm even closer. Basically, it even minimizes the space more between the steering wheel. And I put on a pillow too to kind of so I can see better over.
Yeah. I'm taller, so I don't have to get up as close, but it's like the distance between me and the steering wheel is all taken up with boobs. And then I can't get my arms real close together. Sometimes it's kind of like, but it's funny. Seatbelts in cars drive me crazy, because it'll start out over here and then it just kind of slowly migrate across. So I'm constantly in traffic, it's like pulling the seatbelt.
And back. We can't cross our arms either, like regular people.
Yeah. No, what was it? I was doing some type of shoot one time, and the guy's like, "Well, it's like cross your arms across your chest." And I'm like, doing this, and he's like, "Oh, never mind." It's like I can't. I was trying to exercise the other day, you're supposed to bring your arms in, and I'm like, they only go in so far.
The gym is the worst. It's awkward. because there's a lot of things
Yeah.
to do.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, if you go in and you're wearing clothing that, one, is supportive, and two, you won't sweat your butt off in, I mean, they're going to be able to see what's going on. And then, yeah, as soon as you get to any type of machine where you're moving your arms, or it's like anywhere close to this part of your body, it's like, here's all the guys. You know, I'm like, oh. I think one of the last times I went to the gym to go work out, I had this gaggle of teenage boys that were just like following me from machine to machine. I'm kind of like, okay, can you like leave me alone, give me some privacy so I can try to focus on a workout? And I'm like, oh my goodness. So how about you? Have you ever had a group of teenage boys follow you around anywhere?
I don't know. I don't know if they followed me. Usually it's older men, but I went to Chick-fil-A the other day, and I could swear that they were looking at me and laughing, you know, kind of snickering amongst themselves.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. It's okay, but
we were out last night at our local bar that's right around from our neighborhood. And one of the regular patrons there was having a birthday party. Well, it was like a birthday / lingerie party. So you have people wandering around, you know, probably wearing a lot less than they normally would when they go out on a Friday night. So I'm sitting there in my little low-cut leopard print cat suit, which is, fairly usual outfit for me, but I forget that, okay, not everybody has seen, the booth before. And I'm like, good grief, I probably had at least 10 different people come up and, oh, we want our picture made. And there was 2 different females that were like, oh, can we touch them? I was like, okay, go ahead.
yeah.
Like, none of the guys were brave enough to come up and do that. But it was funny later. One of the females that came up, we were getting ready to leave because it was getting a little rowdy. I mean, you mix, girls walking around in lingeries with guys drinking, eventually it's going to, you go bad. But I was walking around to the other side of the bar, walking towards the door, getting ready to leave. And one of the ladies that came up earlier, she's like, oh, here's my brother, Andrew. He wants to feel your boobs. I'm kind of like, yeah, right. Of course he's your brother, I thought it was hilarious. Oh, well, hello, William. Most teenage boys just never saw what a ribbon looks like, and those teenage boys like what they saw. So you see, there you go. And one of the people that came up and was wanting to take photos, she took a photo for me, and she's like, I'm sending it to my 17-year-old son. And I'm like, okay. So she did, apparently, and then got a text message back. Are those real? I thought, well, okay, mom's sending her teenage son pictures of busty women. Okay. I just thought that was hilarious.
I know.
What else? How many people do we got tuning in? I see William. Come on, guys. Get into the show. Oh, there's another plane. And it's cicadas. Oh my god. What's the weather like up in Idaho? Has it started cooling off yet?
It has. It's a little more like overcast now.
Oh.
And then not quite 97 degrees and stuff like it was recently.
Oh, well, I think we got up to like 95 today. We were teased for about a week or so, got nice, almost fall-like weather, and then now it's back to being obnoxious again. I can't read what that says. It's too small. Why do we enhance ourselves? Oh, goodness. why did I do this? I've been doing this for quite a while. I mean, good grief. I think my first boob job was 15 years ago, almost 20 years ago. But
Nice.
I really got into the really big, boobs past what any of the doctors here in town wanted to do, probably about 2019 or so somewhere around there. About the same time as I got brave and got out on social media. I thought, okay, I'll just take a dive in and see. And the first platform I signed up for was Twitter. I thought, okay, I'll try Twitter,
We don't delete our accounts as easily. So it's
I know. Never get into trouble with his wife because he was looking a little bit too much or caused the guy to trip and fall, taking a second look. Well, a lot of guys like to come and get their photos made with me while they're there at the bar, and then I think they go back to the table and the wife or the girlfriend's there, and then I think they get in trouble. But that's okay. What can you do? But yeah, I mean, I've been doing this since 2019. Got pretty big, had a setback. Now I'm on the way back. So what about you? What made you start your journey to be busty and blonde?
Well, with me, I've just always liked it. But even though I am much bigger than some of the ladies in the 90s that I liked,
Mm-hmm.
we were maybe, some of them had like 400. I think Anna Nicole Smith had like 900 at one point. And I'm much larger. No, I feel like it's going bigger and bigger as the years go. But yeah, I'm a fan of a lot of old Hollywood starlets too.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm. Not just Marilyn. I like Marilyn Monroe, but I feel like she's the cliche. So Jean Harlow.
Okay.
Why am I spacing on the name of the other lady?
There's Jane Mansfield.
That's the one, yeah.
Yes. Was she the one that was known for her legs? There was one that was known more for like her legs than some other parts of her body. Because I have like the poster, the picture that was in all the GIs, they all carried it back in the well, you get to the 70s and you get Farrah Fawcett. She was the blonde, and everybody had that famous poster in their room of her in her bikini, but she was never that busty. But I mean, imagine if Farrah Fawcett today had that look and big boobs. that would be pretty funny.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm trying to think. Besides Marilyn, Jean Mansfield, oh gosh. What's her face? Who's the one that's Italian? Oh gosh, I can just see her face. Brunette, Italian, curvy, voluptuous, but not a lot. I'll think of it in a minute. Now you've got me thinking. Famous. No, not Betty Grable. Oh, Betty Grable's good. Betty Grable's another one. Oh gosh, now it's gonna bug me because I can't remember the name of the Italian lady I'm thinking of. But yeah. Raquel Welch. I'm trying to think back, 70s, 80s. To me it kind of seemed like the 90s is when everything started getting like bigger boobs, blonder hair, and then not, especially in I hate to use the word, but porn videos. You start in the 90s, you started seeing the stars getting a little bit bustier and more enhanced, and then that became something that the audience was looking forward to. So now I think it's just kept going for the last 30 years, and now you've got really enhanced girls out there. But yeah, you go back and look at some of the older movies and it just cracks me up, and I'm like, where's the breast enhancements? Where's all the hair extensions? It's like the look was totally different. But yeah, and the shading in certain areas. Sophia Loren, thank you, William. That's who I was trying to think of. I've always thought Sophia Loren was a very sexy lady in a classy way. So she's always been one of my favorites.
Beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful dark skin, the most beautiful greenish brownish eyes. I mean, just marvelous looking women. Even now, even in her 70s, she's still very attractive. I thought, if only I could look like that when I get to be her age. So you like old movie stars? What do you think about like Pam Anderson? The whole Baywatch thing. I kind of feel like that started kind of a blonde movement.
Oh, she was beautiful, and I actually, when I go and get my hair cut, I try to tell them to give me bangs like her, like the hair like her.
Yeah.
But her boobs do not seem that big to me.
I believe she had them taken out a few years ago. And then she didn't have them put back in. Yeah, I mean, at her biggest, I think she was like around 900 or so, I believe. May have been like the biggest that she ever got. And then the last time I saw something about her on social media, like a month or so ago, it was her like completely makeup free, all natural, and I'm kind of like, well, I mean, I guess she still looks pretty good, but it's just not how I remember seeing her, when she was on TV a lot. I guess it was a little bit of a shock. Any more questions? Whoa, damn it. Gosh, damn mosquitoes. Have your bigger boobs ever affected you at work? I would say yes. In my day job in accounting, especially when I had to go into a client's office, that would tend to cause a little bit of chaos. It seemed like no matter where I was at, all the guys in the office always found what cubicle I was sitting at. So it's like they didn't ever bother some of the other females, but they always tended to find me. How about you? Does it affect you in your job any, or is it an enhancement for you?
Well, I did have boobs when I was in the office for a bit too, but they were not as big. I would say I probably got up to, trying to remember, maybe like 1,800, 2,000.
Okay.
When I was still in the office, and in that I would just wear shirts up to here, and then nobody said anything. But of course, like I'm a dancer, so then that. Yeah, I've gotten good and bad comments for sure.
Well, I would think for a dancer, I mean, that might be something that might help you.
It can, but also, like I've had a lady throw a drink at me.
Oh my goodness!
I know.
That's not nice.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think what else here. Yeah, I've gotten rude comments and good things. It's a mixed bag.
Yeah. So what were some of the good things? I'm assuming guys probably had good things to say. Woo.
Some of the good things would just be, if some fetish guy comes in and he's really into the bimbo lifestyle, then it's kind of like I'm the ultimate. But
there you go.
At the same time, I often find that I'm too much for some men, and that I had one tell me, that he wanted like more of like the girl next door type, so somebody that might just be a little more conventional looking, and then I wasn't it. But
yeah, well, I'm not it for people either. I mean, I get rude comments all the time. I mean, I don't have time to read all the comments for one thing. I don't get a chance to read through all of them, but I mean, I'll scroll through some of them, and like, I'll get the comments, like, oh, that looks hideous. Or I think one of the photos I had just gotten like my lips done. So it's like, when you get them done, they're still a little swollen right after you get them done, and then it does go down a little bit, and so somebody made the comment, it's like, why would somebody want to look like that? It looks like her lips got stung by a bee, I'm like, okay, so you don't like it, just move along. Fortunately, those comments are a lot fewer than what everybody else. Maybe your chest will become so famous, Gianna, they'll name a naval team after you, like they did the life preservers after Mae West. Oh, there you go. I could be some life preservers, I guess. Trying to think, another busty celebrity that comes to mind, Dolly Parton. What do you think about Dolly Parton?
She's honestly amazing. I'm a big fan of hers, and then she's also quite petite like I am. But I think the maximum that she's ever had has been like 1,600 or so, I believe, and I know I've surpassed her by a lot.
Yeah. She is very teeny tiny. I mean, I forget how small that she is, But yeah, she's definitely, she is very short. And apparently all like tatted up on her arms, which is why when she's on stage you never see her wear anything short sleeve, because she doesn't want to show the tattoos, which I thought was kind of interesting. But yeah, it's not, at times I've wondered if her blonde hair and the big boobs overshadowed her music to a certain degree. I mean, of course, she's, a famous musician, songwriter, done all these things, been in movies, she's done a lot of stuff. I just wondered if she didn't have that persona, what her career would have looked like without the bigger boobs.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm sure it probably helped her to a certain extent, but I wonder how much it held her back, because at the time when she was doing that, there was nobody that looked like her.
And that's part of the reason I feel like I've done what I've done, is because I don't like boring stuff. And I feel like I'm unique, at least. I know there's other women that have the same kind of idea, but I just felt very bored before.
Well, good for you. Yeah, I try to be unique, as much as I can, with being, almost 6 feet tall and Amazon, definitely taller than average. Green eyes, the green eyes. Looks like Chloe stepped away for a couple minutes. What other comments do we have going on in the chat room? Let's see more comments.
Your future.
Another question we had come in: what does your future look like? I don't know if they're referring to career or having big boobs or bugs. Let's see, what does my future look like? Boobs will definitely be bigger. Exercise and trying to definitely get like boobs bigger, rest of me smaller. It's like everything's moving in opposite directions. Career wise, it's picking up. I'm working with a good agency that's helping do a lot of promos and getting a lot of stuff out there. They have some good connections. They've worked with a lot of people and a lot of different companies, have a lot of different clients. So I'm fortunate to finally find a group that can help network me to different companies and have different opportunities come up that I don't think would have came up otherwise. So big shout out to Valencia Group for everything that they've been doing for the past couple of months. And they also market stuff as the Eden Group. So if you've heard of Valencia Group or Eden Group, either one, they're one and the same, different branches of the same management company. So yeah, there's that. Gonna have a chance to get to Exotica coming up in about a little over a month, and I'll be at the Blush Erotica booth for the little bit on the afternoon on Saturday. And so if anybody's planning on going to that, stop by and say hello. I believe they're going to have some of their virtual reality glasses set up, so you can come by, talk to Stacy and Charles. They run Blush Erotica, and find out all of the models that are on their website and all the different things you can do, and stop by and say hello. So, Chloe,
Hey.
let's see, the question that came in: what does your future look like? So I don't know if they're really talking about career-wise or busty modeling or what. I guess a better way to be, what do you want your future to look like?
Well, I think I'd like to make some appearances for sure.
Okay.
Some of these things that you've already done. Continue to go online and then continue to reach more people for sure. And then maybe, and I always have my physical goals too of going bigger with a lot of different things.
Yeah. But while you stepped away, I was talking about a little bit of mine. Of course I want to get the girls a little bit bigger. They're like halfway back to where they were before. They're still not as full and as round and as high as I would like them to be, considering, the tissue expanded quite far when they were bigger. So, I've got plenty of room to, get them filled back up, and working on getting the rest of me smaller and the boobs bigger. So it's like, opposite direction. So, I mean, I'm getting at the age that putting on weight is like really starting to sneak up on me, and it's becoming a tougher fight to stay tall and slender. But hey, we're getting there.
Curvy is always real nice too, though.
Yeah. And at one point I was pretty curvy, and so to get back there, I mean, kind of like you, I think I would. I need my waist to get smaller, so help the girls look even bigger. But as I've aged, I think I'm gonna need some more help in the badonkadonk and like get a little bit hippier and a little bit fuller.
Yeah.
To kind of balance everything. I mean, like you, I like having the boobs on top, but I feel like there should be more curves, more of the hourglass look. And I don't have as much of that as I once did, so. I know you've mentioned that you like the hourglass shape, which, I mean, you're already getting there pretty good.
I've definitely worked on it for a while too. I spent a lot of money on trying to, make up for the deficit, because I felt it's so big here, and then, to try to get that to catch up, it takes.
Yeah. I've heard girls doing different things. A friend of mine got butt implants. I know some girls go that route, but I mean, she's very fit, very, very short, very teeny tiny little lady, and she's a former bodybuilder, so she's so buff and so lean that she just didn't really have much curve to her butt. So she went the route of getting butt implants because, I mean, it's not like you can transfer fat anywhere because she didn't have any,
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've heard, the nightmare stories about people getting all sorts of weird stuff injected into their butt and it migrates and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you have to be careful what you get for sure, because some of that is not easily removed either.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know they do silicone, and if you don't go to a reputable person and you go somewhere, I mean, I've heard the horror stories of people going down to like Mexico and getting who knows what injected into their body. It's basically something toxic, and they get very, very, very ill from it, and I'm like, I don't think I'd ever do that, But yeah, so I don't know. It's really funny. I'm scared to have any type of procedures on the butt, but I've gone through how much stuff with the boobs. I mean, I don't know. That's just me. Another question. Have you two had any famous run-ins with stars or musicians? I haven't. I mean, in all your times that you've been to Vegas, Chloe, have you ever ran into anybody famous?
Yeah, and when I was in my hometown, John McCain was there.
Oh,
I met
okay.
him. And then another, because of Las Vegas.
Yeah.
I think there's been a few that I've met, but one of them was just like a singer, Ava Max. You guys probably don't know who that is, but I knew who she was.
The name sounds vaguely familiar. Yeah.
I think Foxy Menagerie came into the club that I work at, but I wasn't there at the time. Like I was there like a week or so later. But I know Foxy.
Oh, yeah. She does go out to Vegas quite a bit. So yeah, and she's another one. I mean, she's not blonde. She's does the brunette. And I think at one point she kind of got like a lighter reddish brown, but she usually stays pretty dark. But yeah, I don't know if I would ever get to Foxy's eyes.
She's impressive.
She's pretty big. I'm trying to think who else. There's some blonde that I can't think of that's getting fairly close to her size. I know Mary Madison is pretty big.
I'm a big fan of hers too. I just think that she looks really good.
She's another little lady. She's not very tall, and she carries it well. For me, I'm trying to think. I do have some friends that are coming to town next week. Casey Storm, I don't know if you've ever heard of Casey. I mean, former porn star now. She's more into like, being an advocate against domestic violence, and I think she wants to like write a book and do podcasts and different stuff like that. She's coming in, and her significant other, Tommy Gunn, musician, and he was for a few episodes. He was on the show Sons of Anarchy. So he's like got long blonde hair. If you see a picture of him, you would probably recognize them. But yeah, they're making a trip cross country, and they will be coming through the Dallas area. So they're going to stop by, and we're gonna go out for a little bit and have some fun while they're here in town. So that'll be my most famous and most recent run-in that I'll have. But I haven't made enough trips out to Vegas to run into anybody famous.
I think one I didn't meet, but one took notice of me. Somebody that was fairly famous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was it?
Well, he was high up in the Trump administration, and he wasn't in the club, but a friend of his kind of, said, and I had no idea that about his job or anything. He just said, I think that you're my friend's type. Can I get your phone number?
Oh boy.
There's like a lot of famous people that you can run into there. Not that I don't care so much, but I mean, I didn't actually meet him, but he took notice of me. He likes Busty.
Yeah. Oh, well, there you go. I mean, I've never gone out and really looked to see who follows me to see if it's anybody famous or not. I mean, there could be somebody creeping out there on my profiles and I just don't know about it. So
that's how I am too. But come to think of it, that's a really good question to contemplate.
Yeah, I know. It's like, who is out there, or they probably can't do it themselves, but like, do they have like one of their PR people or social media people kind of like creeping out there? Like, oh, hey, look at this photo I found, kind of makes me wonder,
We better check our follower list.
I do, just out of curiosity sometimes. The funniest thing was, for a while, I was getting followed, and this was like the actual account. It's like the city of blah, 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 blah down in Brazil or somewhere in South America. Because, like, the profile name was all in Spanish. And I was like, okay, who is this that's following me? So I go click through and look at the profile. And it was like the city's account. I was like, oh, was somebody watching something they shouldn't have been and like signed up for my profile under the city government's account? Then I noticed like a week or so after that, it disappeared. I was like, uh-oh, somebody got in trouble. I thought that was hilarious. Oh, is it almost our time? Mm-hmm. Oh, it's almost time to go. So remind everybody, what's all your social media accounts that you want to put out there?
Well, just I've got tons of content available, and then we've got another stream that's coming after this on both of our OnlyFans, so that's fun.
Yeah, so are you Chloe the model on all of your socials?
Except I think Twitter made me spell it differently just because it was taken or something. But yeah.
I think you have like 2 L's or something on that one. Yeah. And it was kind of like the French spelling, a couple of L's and an E on the end. So I liked that one. Yeah, all of mine are pretty much Gianna Woods. I think Twitter is actually Gia Woods. I think Gianna Woods was taken, so I just had to shorten it to Gia. But yeah, all of them are like pretty much Gianna Woods. And I think I checked a day or two ago, if you Google my name, like the first 100 things or so that come up are mine. It's like links to different things that I've done or different photos or what. Oh, I think we had one more thing come into the chat room. I remember Ted Cruz account got in trouble because he or somebody on his staff followed and liked some post from a MILF porn star, Corey Chase. Uh-oh, Ted Cruz got in trouble. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, God. And here Ted leaves us during Winter Storm Uri and hops a plane and takes his butt down to Mexico. I'm like, thanks, Ted. Leave us here to freeze.
Men will be men.
Yeah. Well, supposedly it was already a pre-planned vacation, and he didn't want to disappoint his kids. I was like, yeah. Whatever, Ted. The kids are already back from Christmas break, so that was a likely story. So I think we're going to wrap up the SpaCast here. We'll take a little bit of a break, and we will be back over on the OF platform, and we'll have a little bit of an after party. So see everybody over there. Bye, Chloe. See you in a few. Okay. Oh, the damn